Good morning, all. Brian S. Pratt here. I'm going to read the epilogue of The Unsuspecting Mage, Book 1 of the Morcyth Saga, which means that we're going to be done. This will be the last chapter, last read for the Unsuspecting Mage. Now, tomorrow morning, I'll start in on the Shepherd's Quest, and we'll get that book on here too. And we'll keep going. After that, we'll probably do the Adventures Guild Book 1. Those will be my 3 free books, my free series starters. After that, will I do more after that? I would think so. Which ones? I don't know yet. My family's arguing with me about it. And I would like to do them all. But is that shooting myself in the foot? You know, because I do depend on sales to survive, and if I put all my books on here for free, would that hurt that? I don't know. But the way I read it, my burping, blowing my nose occasionally, and my excessive rambling dialogue on non-book related subjects, that would prevent it from being compiled into something that somebody could actually sell. I don't think people would be too happy with that, buying it cold and not listening to it for the commentary aspect of it, but was listening to it. I don't know, but that's just something to think about. Anyway, let's do the epilogue. Let's get it done, get it over with, and then probably tomorrow I will upload the new version to both Amazon and Smashwords, and then at some point in time your copies that you have should be updated, from what I understand. I can't guarantee it because it all depends on where you buy them from, but anyone on the Smashwords side, from what I understand, should be updated. If you bought it from Smashwords, if you bought it from Kindle, no, not Kindle. Kindle's Amazon. They don't do. They're like at war with each other. So Smashwords is Barnes and Noble, Kobo, Apple, libraries, things like that. Some people ask me, "Hey, I don't care where I buy it from. Where do you make the most money to buy them?" Well, that's as if you buy them directly from Smashwords. I make the absolute most money from there. But you guys buy them where you want to, and I'll be fine. You guys be happy. All right, here's the epilogue. Wrap up. All hell's broke loose. City of Lights fallen. James and Michael are separated. A mysterious shape has grabbed a hold of James and hauled him away after he did Rocky and fought the Empire soldiers with magic. He passed out. He always passes out. Checks and balances. I don't like uber mages. I don't like super powerful people. I have a real issue with superheroes. They're just too powerful. They all have their thing. Like Superman's got kryptonite, but how much kryptonite is there? Anyway, no, I like, I do enjoy them, but my logical side says there's something wrong with that. Anyway, epilogue. James awakened in a small dark room with only a single candle for light. The room looked like an old storage room with many boxes that lined the walls. An old tapestry hung upon the far wall, obviously having seen better days. He was on a blanket on the floor, with another one covering him. His backpack sat beside him. He looked around and saw 4 people, 2 who weren't much more than kids. 2 were young men in their late teens, the oldest being around 19, the other slightly younger. The other 2 were girls. One couldn't have been more than 16, while the other was slightly older. As he sat up, they glanced in his direction, gathering closer to see what he would do. "How did I get here?" The younger of the girls replied, "Jerome found you and brought you here." "You a mage?" the younger boy asked. He looked at each in turn and said, "Sort of, I suppose." "Cool," he exclaimed. The older teen stepped a little closer and said, I watched you when he fought those soldiers. That stone creature was something else. Remembering, James smiled and said, yeah, that was Rocky. Rocky? Asked the older girl. That was what my friend always called him, James explained. Never thought I'd actually see him in action, though. When Jerome moved you, the younger teen said, Rocky fell apart into a pile of stones and dirt. Nodding, James sat up and then said, hang on. Just where am I and who are you? This is our hideout, the older teen said. We stay here from time to time. Pointing to himself, he said, I'm Jerome and this here is Tanakh, indicating the younger teen. Then he pointed to the older girl and said, that's Delia and the other is Cassie. My name is James and I thank you for getting me out of there. He paused a moment and said, exactly what is happening out there? You know, so Jerome's what did I say, 17? 19? What did I say? I just read that. Oldest being around 19. So Jerome was around 19 in this. And so that would make him 24, 25 in Travail. That sounds about right. That would be the peak of his knife fighting prowess. Would be those years. So yeah, I could buy that. Okay. Let's see. Again, hang on. Okay, how long have I been here? This is yeah. My name is James, and I thank you for getting me out of there. He paused a moment and said, exactly what is happening out there? The Empire's forces have completely taken over the city, explained Jerome. Most of the younger people are being rounded up and taken south to be sold as slaves. Anyone caught on the street runs the risk of being killed or captured. Some of the older folks are being left alone, but anyone they think could cause them problems is being dealt with one way or another. How long have I been here? We brought you here yesterday, and you've been asleep ever since, explained Delia, the older girl. It's now night again, so a little over a day. Michael, James thought, what happened to him? Hang on. As he sat in the cellar alone with the 14, sadness overcame him as the possible fate of Michael ran through his mind. Reaching into his backpack, he pulled out the compass and cast a spell to locate him. The needle swiveled and pointed the way. Then the needle moved slightly and indicated that Michael was on the move. He's alive, James cried exuberantly. Who's alive? Jaren asked. A friend of mine who got separated from me during the attack. It looks like he is on the move. If he was in the city last night, on the move now, Jaren said, then I would hate to think what that would mean. What? James asked apprehensively. He's probably been taken captive and is being marched south to be sold as a slave. James thought of the last thing he had said to Michael. Find some place to hide. I'll find you. With grim determination, he intended to do just that. Well, that was short, wasn't it? So, yeah, that's it. So, Michael's been captured? Well, actually, at this point, we don't really know. It's amazing. It's amazing. Those two kids, Jerome and Tanakh. See, reading this now after so many years, and thinking about them as they became later on, they sound really young and immature here. And I don't think I had any plans for them in this moment. You know, just that they were there with him. And so, yeah, I don't think I had that they were knife fighters. I don't think the pits were invented yet. I just don't think so. I don't remember that anyway. And I think that all just came into being as I typed book 2. Which I may get to doing this at some point in the future. But next 2 months will be Shepherd's Quest and Adventurers Guild. You know, I really enjoyed doing this. I have to admit, I really enjoyed it. And I look forward to doing it again. YouTube, no subscribers yesterday. My posts get very little views. So right now, am I discouraged about the possibility of it blossoming into something great? A little bit. But I got a few people who talk to me, a few people who follow this, a few people who look forward to it, and those are keep me enjoying it and exciting about it. And so I'm gonna do Shepherd's Quest. And Shepherd's Quest, of course, I wrote right after the Mist of Sorrow. And it took me 5 weeks to write Shepherd's Quest. I was on a roll. I just couldn't stop. Right, I was doing like 27,000 words a week. It was just unbelievable. I just kept writing it. I couldn't stop. Oh, if I could just maintain that. But I think that pace really burnt me out because the Hunter of the Horde, the next book, really took a long time, and I've never been able to do a fast book since. So it's like, yeah, I wrote it in 5 weeks, but I think it burnt me out on writing, at least at that point. And I've been fighting to get back ever since. When I'm writing, I enjoy it. And yeah. Well, anyway, so we're done with the Unsuspecting Mage. I hope you enjoyed it. Put in the comments if you enjoyed it. If there's anything I can do to improve the experience, let me know. Do I ramble? My girlfriend says, especially on my TikToks, says you make your point and then you just kind of keep talking. Just make your point and shut up and go on, and just end it. But I have a tendency of rambling on. I think back to the Cosby Show. You remember how Theo always complained about his dad, who told these long, drawn out, boring stories, and then ultimately, like in a later season, his college friends experienced his dad and then said, man, he is the coolest guy ever. His stories are great. You know, they always make a good point and they make total sense. That's what I think of when I'm doing these sometimes is Heathcliff Huxtable. How he says back in I think it was, well, I'm not really that bad, thank God. I do like to talk. I do like to have a storyteller, apparently. Being a storyteller. And if you guys like me doing it, encourage me, and I'll keep it up. And there's a few people out there, you know, that keep me going. So I thank you. It really means a lot. And so I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll delve into the Broken Key trilogy. Y'all take care.